This is Ducati's top displacement scrambler, the 1100 Special, and it is delightful. Matty Motorcycle, I love this thing. Coming at you right now. Let's get some specs out of the way before we get into the front to back review of this. You have 86 horsepower and 65 foot-pounds of torque coming out of an air-cooled air-cooled L twin. After that, 450 pounds wet. This thing is light and agile. And the thing about the Ducati's Scrambler line is it's a state of mind. When you're riding this bike, it's a persona, it's a style, it's a feeling it gives you, the sound, the sensations, the handling, all the bits and pieces are there for an incredibly lovely motorcycle ride. This is the one you ride smooth, you ride slow, you go through town, you put your lady on the back or your fella and you have a great time. It's super easy to ride. It gives you the energy and enthusiasm. You get the thumbs up. It says Ducati on the side of it. It's a nostalgic look, but the performance is hidden underneath it. It's still a Ducati. Even though this isn't the performance-based model, it's got it in there. It's like if you grew up and your big brother was an MMA fighter. Maybe you can't fight as good, but you can definitely hold your own and definitely take a punch. That's what this thing is all about. Let's go through the bike. Since 2015, Ducati has sold over 60,000 units of their Scrambler. They made us this big 1100 model for all the guys out there that 800 just isn't enough displacement to keep them entertained. Now let's figure out why this is such a popular machine aside from its affordability. First up, they put dual brakes in the front. You got one on each side of the wheel, and they put M4 monoblocks on for us. Now, these are right off the V2 Superbike. They stop this thing way more than you need to, and I am a huge fan of stopping your motorcycle because quite frankly, you don't know how fast you can go unless you know how fast you can stop, and one finger will send you right over the handlebars. Obviously, you have to take care and modulate, but I love the fact that it's way more braking power than you need. Thank you, Ducati. After that, we have this dashboard. Now, plenty of information on it, but the only thing that I have a problem with is the tack is upside down. So instead of having a needle fly up, you have the beads kind of swing around the bottom, which is cool, takes a minute to get used to, but it's not the way I would do it. I like it, but it's not my style. Then you have all of the riding modes, super easy and accessible at the front of this bike. Now, upright, standard kind of touring day ride bike with riding modes gets us back into the whole mentality why riding this machine is a state of mind. Instead of track, sport, and rain, you have adventure mode, journey mode, and city mode. The first two give you full power, it's just an easier curve, but the way that this mixes analog style technology with more modern technology is really wonderful. The riding experience is just delightful because you have all the pieces that you want from an analog bike. You got to shift with your hand instead of a quick shifter, even though it does have ride-by-wire and you can definitely add a quick shifter to it. All the pieces are there. Moving along, 18-inch spoke front wheel, which is code word for not as many options. A 17-inch wheel is a lot more popular as far as the size. There's a lot more options of tires, but these 18-inch wheels, absolutely work out great. The spokes, you can go over a little bit of bumps. Not that this is specifically an off-road machine, but you want to go on a couple of dirt roads, you want to take this on the grass, those little knobby tires in the front will definitely give you the extra confidence. The bars, super easy reach to them, nice and wide, give you plenty of leverage as you're pushing and tipping in through curves. The front end, the feel is fantastic, handles great and easy. Again, these Pirelli MT60s, awesome. The brake lines are a little goofy looking. We got this kind of wire that pops up out of the top. I'll reach it right here for you. I feel like you could hide that a little better, Ducati. Put a little extra thought into that. The rest of this bike is put together so well with these aluminum bits everywhere. The extra detail, the 1100s, the Scrambler note, all the things are there, and then you got this wire over the top. It's not the way I would do it, but whatever. And then wind protection or lack thereof. This is an old school riding style. You are in the elements, sunglasses on, maybe half helmet, 3/4 helmet, loving life, but the wind is in your face. I personally got a bug stuck right to my cheek while enjoying this. And last about the front end, that LED front headlight. I love the halo. You got the X in the middle from when they used to race scramblers like 100 years ago or 700 years ago or like around dinosaurs, whatever it was. Definitely looks great. Moving on to the middle of this bike. On to the middle of this machine. First thing you gotta know, it's the Scrambler 1100, so you have this giant 1100cc L-twin staring right at you. We already went over the torque specs, but the fun part is it's air cooled. You got a little tiny radiator in here just to keep the oil cool. Air cooled definitely translates to maintenance you can do at home. You don't have to run to the dealership every time you got to change the oil or switch something out. You can wrench on this bike yourself. Awesome idea. Thank you, Ducati, for keeping my costs down as far as maintaining the bike. Low tech sometimes just means easier to live with. Now, the torque is available very low in the RPM range, all right? At about 2,000 RPMs, you get about 90% of the torque you need. So that translates to, doesn't matter what gear you're in, you got power everywhere. Second, third, and fourth gear are basically all the same thing. You wanna make it have a little bit of noise? Put it in second. You wanna be a little quieter through your town? Throw it in fourth. Have the same torque and power everywhere. Scooting around cars, making your way through traffic, and right around all those corners and twisties. It's just lovely. I love riding this thing. Then they put a brand new frame together for us in this bike. Thank you, Ducati. Every time you make a frame, you overachieve. You just can't help yourselves. This frame is stiff and sharp, and it helps you corner beautifully. It is a little stiff, so I guess if you're gonna hit a pothole or anything like that, you do bump around. The suspension is also top shelf on this, so you're definitely gonna get knocked around if the road is a little bit bumpy, but it's not unreasonable, it's not unpredictable, and I'd rather have that little performance edge than an over squishy ride. Then, the reach from the seat to the pegs, super easy and comfortable all day riding. The seat is luxurious. This thick leather stitch seat looks the part when you're walking up to it, and it feels even better when you're sitting on it, and makes it very, very easy to ride all day long. Big old gas tank, 45 miles a gallon. You can get at least 175 to 200 miles out of this tank. Again, ride all day long, just kind of putting around and enjoying yourself. Let's move on to the booty. On to the booty, and it is a beauty. If you got a passenger, the seat is thick, luxurious, comfy. You're close to your passenger, a great excuse to get nice and cozy with the person that you're riding with. There is no factory luggage option. This is not supposed to be an overnight or a touring bike. Ducati pits this as a day cruiser, which it's definitely perfect for that. And lots of aluminum bits everywhere. The quality of the build of this machine is definitely a higher spec than what you're actually paying for. You have aluminum bits covering everything. This aluminum parts here, aluminum tailpiece, it really is put together very well with very good materials. Last piece that's noteworthy about this bike is the exhaust. It's so cool. I love a dual exhaust. It gives you a great balanced look on the machine. They run the pipes right under your butt. It's not overly hot. The heat shielding here definitely protects you plenty. And these pieces, they are a little bit bulky, but Ducati is smart enough to know you're probably gonna get rid of that anyway, and it's 4 little bolts that you can see, super easy. Get rid of those cans, put on a nice little slip-on, you're done. And it sounds fantastic. Let's give it a little bit of a listen.
You're welcome.
The way this Ducati is put together is just brilliant. You have high-end looks, parts, the styling is gorgeous, and the price is very attractive. Brand new 2020 off the showroom floor costs you about 14 grand. This particular version I have in front of me is a leftover 2018. You can get it from my friends at Gold Coast for 10,000 bucks, and you're on an 1100cc Ducati with premium parts, premium handling, amazing braking, and all this style. This is a home run. I loved riding it, and I highly recommend everybody out there at least go check one out. And if when you're in the room you hate it, tell me in the comments. Matty Motorcycle here. Please subscribe to my channel. Helps me out a bunch. Like this video, comment, share it with your friends, and tell me what the next Ducati you want to see is. I'll catch all of you next time.